I'm telling you, watching the Super Bowl, getting ready for the Super Bowl. Fuck the Patriots. I know. The Super Bowl. I was so taken out of the game because this 21 Savage news. I couldn't believe it. This shit read like an Onion headline. I couldn't. Yeah, and it turns out to be actually true that they're out here trying to deport the young god 21. This shit's crazy, dude. I still can't believe that this is still happening.
I mean, it's kind of nuts that no one knew about this. I mean, 21 has been repping Atlanta hard for his whole career. I mean, the past, 5-6 years his career.
Yeah, this is debut. Yeah.
And no one digged this up. No one found that he's from England.
London. I think Northern, wherever. I think it's
it's weird. It's weird that the whole story hasn't come out yet. Still, there's still so many questions. We're all still waiting on. When did it happen? I think it's now early teenager when he was 13 or so. They've been saying that's what I've seen at least. But I don't know how much stuff is actually confirmed of what the hell happened. Yeah. You know, if they've been on to him for a while. What's the deal?
It's been a while. But the thing is, he applied for a visa back in 2017. So it's not like this is something he's trying to put off. His whole citizenship in America. He's been trying to do this. And the whole immigration process, a whole nother podcast episode, is such a long, arduous, and fucked up process to begin with. So for even one person to apply, by the time you get citizenship, or even the chance to even go before a hearing or court about it, takes forever. So this man's been trying, but I think given all this, I think it shouldn't discredit anything of what 21's doing. I think if whatever ICE is trying to do, or the government's going to try to tear down his persona, I think that's bullshit, because even though let's say he wasn't born in Atlanta or whatever. I mean, the man grew up in Atlanta. He still was there from when he's, 13 years old.
And, to be honest, where you grew up is probably, your adolescent years. So I'd say from, middle school to high school is, where I would rep. That's, where you make yourself, where you find things out. It's probably the most pivotal point of your life besides, college, that time right there. So if he wants to rep Atlanta, I have no problem with that.
I saw people pulling up it was a Radar interview, I think. That was him talking about his mom, how she's from one of the islands down in the Caribbean.
Yeah, and he didn't deny that.
No, he was very open talking about that. But I guess a lot of people from down there, they do go to England as one of their first spots. So I guess it makes sense, but it's weird that he wouldn't have talked about it in any of his music. He seems to be open, or at least we thought was very open with some of that, and it's not really referenced too much.
Sal pointed out, it's kind of crazy how this happened after he performed on Fallon. What were you saying, Sal?
Yeah, I mean, that week he performed on Fallon, did a lot, the song, and then I believe he did the third verse, which I think is on the album version.
Yep.
Which he also did in the music video too. Very dope music video. Gotta check out the A Lot music video. Cool. That was a great job by them. But his third verse that he did on Fallon, he's talking about the water crisis in Flint.
Yep.
He's talking about immigration and all that stuff. And it just so happens, we gotta get put our woke hats on.
A couple days after,
literally the same week, man's getting, or at least allegedly being deported. I mean, it's funny how hip hop is the #1 genre in the world. It's clearly the #1 genre in America, and everyone loves hip hop. That's an undeniable truth. But at the same time, while we think hip hop's getting more accepted within the mainstream culture, at the same time, people want to shit on it and give it any chance. And I think this is the perfect example with 21. Yeah, America loves 21, but there's been so many people coming with backlash against them for this. It's if you truly love hip hop, you would support this man who's really going through some shit. He was taking active steps to make himself a legalized citizen. Yeah. It's not like he just put it off.
And false or contrary to what is reported and what he talks about, he doesn't have a conviction. The only thing he has is a marijuana possession. That's the only thing he was ever charged with. So they can't really kick him out for having a felony or anything like that.
Honestly, this has, in a weird sort of way, though, been a crazy publicity thing for 21. Because people that don't know 21 are talking about him now for this thing.
He's on, Fox News.
Exactly.
Can you imagine, the future Instagram stories and Twitter stories from 21 in England now, yo, I can't come back to Atlanta, I'll see you guys. I can just imagine them already now. This could be a huge freaking thing, honestly.
Man's not hot.
What 21 needs to do is whatever when he gets out of this legal bullshit, whatever video he decides to shoot next off of his album,
it's gotta be in England.
Gotta be just British theme. He's gotta be dressed up like a beefeater.
Yep.
I know he probably won't be able to shoot
He's
from
gotta
Buckingham Palace.
Gotta have gigs on it. I want all Theophilus London. I want all.
Drake has the Canada connection. He'll try to start a petition to get him back in North America at least. Maybe he can get Justin Trudeau to get him to bring it to Canada.
It's so funny.
Something over there.
Speaking of Drake wanted there's so many different types of Drakes. Like Drake so bad wants to be British. 21 was kind of hiding the fact that he was British. So Drake is like, damn it, what? He didn't even want to be British. But I'm not even British, but I want to be British. It's weird, but man, free 21. Hope he gets through this bullshit, man.
But it's unfortunate because tonight he could have had a big role. I mean, we're recording this on Sunday, and or just a couple hours before the Grammys, and Post is supposed to hit the stage, and that was one of the biggest songs of last year, that Rockstar. So they could have probably performed that on national television, and that would have been probably his biggest look ever.
Because he's coming off an album that people love as well. So the people are already he's gotten fans that weren't fans. People like me that really weren't big.
Me
fans
too.
So it's gonna be. It would have been interesting.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. And going back with the Grammys, just the Grammys wants to make it seem like they like hip hop, but so 21 can't go to the Grammys tonight, right? Well, we're recording this while the Grammys happening. He was owed a few tickets to go to the Grammys. The Grammys are not going to release those tickets to his mom, so she can't attend on his behalf. Man. So again, the Grammys want to act like they care about hip hop. They fucking don't.
And this goes deeper. I mean, right now, what's going on with our country? Like, I feel like the worst thing happening right now is Trump sold the wall thing, getting rid of illegal immigrants. That I think 21 might be made as an example.
I 100% agree. He's going to be made like kind of like a pariah of some sorts that they're going to show, we're going to keep these people up. I mean, 21, he was doing good to the community. He's got charitable organizations.
He has kids that he's taking care of. Like, he's being a good father. He's making money for them. They're saying he's worth around between 4 and 13 million. No one really knows how much he's actually worth, but the good thing about this is that they can't take his money. So no matter what, he's going to have the money. But he missed that check for the Grammys tonight, but I want to get into that Grammy talk because there's a couple albums on there that I think are truly deserve to be nominated. I mean, that Pusha T, 100% should be on there. Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap, and Mac Miller, Swimming, which a lot of people kind of say they gave it to him just because of his unfortunate passing, but
that was a great album.
That album, it was fantastic.
It's bullshit. I mean, this could be shaping up, like I just said, I still think the Grammys are bullshit. I really don't think they care about hip-hop. But this could be the year that it could be hip-hop's biggest year for the Grammys. Like, let's just look at the best rap album categories this year. We have Cardi with Invasion of Privacy, Swimming by Mac, Victory Lap by Nipsey, Daytona by Push, and we got Astroworld by Travis. And there's a whole slew.
Also, the only album I think that got left off is J-Rock's Redemption. I would easily take Cardi B's off of there, but I understand because of how popular that album was.
Yeah, and J-Rock is nominated for Win for Best Rap Song.
Okay.
And King's Dead is also nominated for Best Rap Song. He's kind of on there.
So he might get one at least.
For that, Yep.
Sicko Mode probably should win if I'm being honest.
I think Sicko Mode is probably the easy winner of
this
year. Like, come on, like that.
So good.
And it's a song that everyone, as they heard the first time on the Travis album, they were like, "Oh, this is it, guys!" And it sure enough is it. It's been like the biggest song in the country, I'm sure, in streams and all that.
You know what's crazy? I would have never known that like Drake was like taking shots at Kanye if Kanye didn't tweet that.
Did he go back?
I never
and then you sing it back and you're like, oh, okay, I guess that does make sense.
It does. He's just like pull up to the right. There's his house, but like no one got that. Like Kanye kind of made that a bigger deal than it was.
Yeah, without a doubt. So I mean, the best rap songs of the year that I'm nominating: God's Plan, King's Dead, Lucky You, Sicko Mode, and Win. So, and besides that, I mean,
I'm a Lucky You fan. That is one of my favorite. I've been telling you guys that was on my top 10 songs of the year list, so I was happy to see that. But it's also Grammy's always with
Eminem, so
exactly.
He might win.
But Joyner kills that song. Like that is an insane song.
That's probably the best song on that.
The only song on Kamikaze I'm still playing. Only one that I'm still playing.
I like Sicko Mode should win.
It should.
Or maybe like God's Plan, because that song like
God's Plan is also nominated for song of the year.
It wouldn't be my song, but like that was a momentous moment for Drake.
Yeah,
God's Plan is also nominated for Song of the Year too. Same with All the Stars.
All the Stars should be something.
That should me and Skyler agree on that. I think SZA kills that. Like that's the ideal pop song.
It's produced
for any
perfectly
rapper.
too. That song sounds great to the ears. Like there's everything perfect about that. It's a mixing.
I actually want it to be
perfection.
longer.
Yeah. I wish so.
And it's good. It's crazy though, because like I said, this could be the biggest year for hip hop and the Grammys, because we could have so many mainstream categories that are outside of hip hop win awards. So you're gonna have rappers and artists on stage, which is a massive look for the Recording Academy, and all the casual people watching. So I think this is a pivotal Grammys in terms of hip hop, but at the end of the day, I truly award shows to me don't move the needle. Like Grammys, Oscars, anything. I feel like I don't need validation from award shows to validate my taste in music. Then again, that's not, you could say that's not the point of them.
Who do you guys want for hip hop album of the year? Do you have a pick? Is it Mac? Is it up in the air?
I want Mac.
I think Nipsey has the best album, but I think Mac, I want him to win. Like I need that win for Mac.
I think Pusha has the best album,
with Daytona.
But I also think that Mac might have the best album as well. There are Mac songs on that are like crazy good that I think I could play.
Who do I think
that
will
Mac out
win?
for years.
Cardi B.
Yeah.
I think Pusha might win.
You think so?
I think Pusha might win. I really think so because they might want that moment. They might want
Pusha's even there. Pusha's even there.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Is Kanye there?
I don't know. I mean, he's from Cali, so I'm assuming he might.
Yeah. I would think he would be in the Good Music Squad.
They probably got a streaming
Drake
party
isn't there, so
Calabasas.
Kanye's clear to go.
Oh wait, if Drake's not there, then Pusha's winning.
It probably and Pusha.
No, Drake is there. Drake is there. He's not
performing.
Yeah, but I think he's there.
He denied Drake, Gambino, and Kendrick all denied performances.
Yeah, this is another thing about the Grammys. Yeah, Drake, Gambino, Kendrick all denied performances. Like,
Kendrick, I can see because he just did it last year. So he's just like, I was already there.
And he got a lot of shit too.
And he doesn't really have a song. I mean, if he did All the Stars or King's Dead, yes, but I think
Drake soundtrack is nominated too. Is it Black Panther soundtrack nominated or something? So
Drake should be there though. I don't know why he doesn't do. I don't know why he doesn't do performances. He doesn't perform at any award show. Like I can't remember the last one he did. Like I think one year he did MTV, the Music Awards, but he was performing like off-site at like in Vegas. But I mean, I still carry the Grammys a little high just because like that's like the main award. I mean, awards don't really mean nothing when it comes down to it, but like that's the one where like you get more mainstream success, and it's proven like your streams will go up. Like your sales go up after you win.
I agree with you 100%.
And it's also important for the genre to an extent too, because hip hop doesn't always get those awards. There have been a few hip hop albums that have actually gotten the album of the year compared to other years, and it's been controversial a lot of years too, where it's like, oh, it's a Mumford & Sons album. Like there was Fire this year or something like that. That's happened a lot of times, you know. So.
Arcade Fire the year they won. I know there's a lot of controversy.
I don't know. I just think like I agree that it does the Grammys effect is real. Like go to boost your streams right now that we're in the streaming age, sales, all that because they're putting it to just a mainstream audience, casual fans. But I kind of like how if hip hop, it's kind of like punk rockish almost. If hip hop acts like the black sheep of music. Yeah. It's like if all of hip hop just said fuck you to the Grammys, I think that would just boost the aura around hip hop.
They should
all do the BET Awards.
Everyone, all those artists that are nominated is going to make a big deal if they win. Pusha's already talking about being nominated. Nipsey's been talking about having the best rap album, and you know if Cardi wins, she's going to go on a rant on Instagram.
I think the fact that Nipsey's nominated to begin with is crazy. Nipsey has been on the grind. This man's from the mixtape era, just grinding. And Jeremy, if I told you 5 years ago that Nipsey was going to be nominated Grammy, you would.
I would never
spit out whatever you're drinking, even if you weren't drinking.
Never ever think that Nipsey would be nominated for a Grammy just because it's where he comes from. He reps the Rolling 60s. That's a Crip gang from California. Like that's not who the Grammys mess with. Like I'm surprised that Pusha's nominated with his cocaine talk. But I mean, Pusha just secured a major bag at Adidas. Shout out to that because that's a big deal for hip hop, and that probably came directly because Drake stayed with Nike.
Pusha has solidified himself as a solo artist too, which was a struggle for him a while. And he did the Fear God mixtape, and he worked himself up. He made himself through good music and the mixtape era as well.
And honestly, his promo run for Daytona has been
insane.
He's a killer. He's killed it.
He slayed the beast. He slayed the dragon. I mean, you can't get much better promo.
Pusha had that tweet. What do you think happens if he wins tonight and he goes on stage? You think
Shots at Drake?
a little, just like a little sly remark at Drake.
I think it'll be really passive aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Pusha, you know, he's a super villain. Really,
yeah,
you know, he's the ultimate heel, and he's not gonna make it direct.
Well, he tweeted a couple weeks ago, like, I'm hearing that you want another round. No one knew what he was talking about, but we could assume it was Drake.
Yeah, so that would be great too. But also another fuck you to the Grammys thing too. This might not deal with hip hop, but they kind of so Drake, Gambino, and Kendrick all turned him down, and Ariana Grande was supposed to perform too, but they basically told Ariana, you can't do the songs you want to do. And you have to do these songs, and you can't. They kind of stifled Ariana's creativity, in my opinion. And Ariana's not doing the Grammys this year, and she already won a Grammy already for best pop album or pop vocal album.
It's insane to me. Like, how can you tell? As that's how you put it perfectly. The biggest pop star probably right now, actively, what they need to perform.
Like, balls.
I don't think I can't think of an artist right now that's more popping than Ariana on the pop side. I mean, besides like Drake, but like Ariana right now. Everyone loves her, and like for you to like tell her like, nah, you can come, but you have to perform what we want. Like, I've never even heard of that. Like, that's crazy.
I think it just shows you how just the Grammys are they're so far up their own asshole. Is they think their shit doesn't stink, and they maybe like 50 years ago or 40 years ago when the Grammy, I mean, the Grammys still have a high prestige, but back then it's like the Grammys is the end all be all. They pass judgment on everything, and you have to listen to what they say and all this stuff, and they were the gold standard. But now, since some people everyone has the ability, we can fucking make music right now if we wanted to.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of limited their reach and their influence.
It's as irrelevant as ever.
Exactly.
It really is as irrelevant as ever.
And so they think they could tell someone as massive as Ariana, you can't do that. Ariana's, fuck you. Who are you gonna tell me I can't do that? Like, it's ridiculous.
It's funny if she did like a private concert at the same time the Grammys were doing. You know, a little WWE fucking halftime.
If she streamed it like online, like Twitter maybe, like it'd get a lot of
views.
Like,
dude,
honestly,
oh my god,
honestly,
that's genius.
That's a heel move right there. But because they,
I think we should set this up. We should set up a music festival that goes on right during the Grammys and invite all the people that got screwed by the Grammys.
We'll call it Firefest 2.0.
Yeah, Firefest. And you won't get screwed out of that. The only people getting screwed are the Grammys.
Ja Rule won't be there though.
Help us screw the Grammys.
I think we need Ja.
I've already hired Ja.
We got to get Ashanti too.
We have to have
Ja Rule. But I mean, this award show tonight, it's not the end all be all. But I mean, I'm just hoping that Mac wins. I just want to end it on that. Like, I really want Mac to win more than anything. Like, that would just be the ultimate like prize. And like, I don't think that any of those artists would be mad.
No.
Like, to be honest, like I don't think that any of them would hate. Like, the only one that I could see really speaking out would be Cardi, just because I feel like she would feel like she deserves it. But
she's had a
Cardi's
crazy year.
Smart though. Cardi's she knows how to move. Like, she's very well. Like, she's very conscious of what she says. She knows, like, I feel like she's good people around her. Like, they don't make her late.
Is she nominated for Album of the Year, or is just hip hop?
Like, she's nominated for Song of the Year with I Like It. I don't think she's not. She's not an album. No, she is an Album of the Year. Yeah, Invasion of Privacy.
All right, so
Drake's in there too.
I don't even care. Just don't give her best hip hop album.
Yeah.
You could give her whatever award you want, but there's too many good guys there. Like, even Astroworld, who we all agreed should be the best. Yeah. Like, if we had a concise opinion, it would be Astroworld voted #1, probably.
I think Daytona is just pound for pound perfect, but Astroworld's awesome too. So those are probably my best albums. But swimming, I don't know. Swimming's gonna have staying power. Swimming will have staying power. For 20 years, swimming will be like a thing. Swimming will be a thing. It really will be a thing.
I was just thinking the other day, that's the last piece of work that we're getting from Mac that, like, he actively contributed to, like, all the way to the deadline. Like, everything else is just, like, unreleased things. Like,
because people care about him enough where the unreleased stuff won't get offensive too. Because Mac was very independent in what he was doing. That I don't think we're gonna get. You know, I know they did it with XXX a little while ago.
I feel like X has put out so much music since he passed. I feel like X has put out like 1 million songs.
Well,
and a lot of them are half-assed.
There's a few albums that Mac has in the tuck. There's the one with I think it's called Pink Slime with Pharrell. That one's supposed to come out. He does have one with Cameron. It might be Pink Slime. I might have the names mixed up.
Yeah,
and then Ty Dolla $ign said they have one coming out that Ty's gonna finish up for them. And knowing Ty, that will come out the way it should. And then Post Malone said that him and Mac spoke about doing it. So I don't know if they have any songs, but those are the only guys I know that something will come out from maybe in the future. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I just don't want anyone to like ruin his.
Exactly. I think his legacy will be well preserved. And you know, speaking of Mac, you know, the Pittsburgh Connection, other fellow artist from Pittsburgh, Wiz, decided to link up with Currency and
DGOD
released the long-awaited sequel. Take us all back in the day to 2009, the sequel to the High Life mixtape, which dropped or Hot Fly mixtape, which dropped in 2009. And I gotta say, I've given this a few listens. I like it. It's enjoyable. I think obviously it wasn't gonna be as good as Hot Fly. I think they knew that going in.
Yeah.
That you can't replicate that. But it's enjoyable. I think it's about 14 songs.
14
it's not super long. I think you can clearly have a few favorites off it, and it's Wiz and Currency in their pocket. I feel like Currency has never left his lane. I think Wiz has tried to leave his lane and be a little more poppy a little bit, but it's hard for him. I feel like to not sound like old Wiz.
Wiz always was pop. He always went over.
He always had the hooks.
He always went over like the most poppin'. Like pop song there was. Like I remember back in the day he like went over Drake's Best I Ever Had. He had his own version. Of course he went over that Demi Lovato We're Done on Cushion OJ.
Yeah.
But I mean Wiz is always kind of lean, kind of pop, but his roots are that stony rap, that smoke rap, that Redman and Method Man, that the connection that Currency and Wiz have.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm excited for the tour that they're obviously doing to support this
We'll
album.
be in the building at Toad's Place. This is like in 2 weeks, right? 27?
Yep.
Fire. Yeah, exactly. I mean, these are arguably the two godfathers of weed rap, of stoner rap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they honestly changed how people smoke.
They
100% did.
More than stoner rap, they might be the godfathers of internet rap.
They're out there. The mixtape generation.
Sure.
Shout out to Big Soulja, of course, but you gotta those guys, like they were two of the most influential, like online and like.
Cushion OJ was one of the biggest mixtapes of all time, and that's not an overstatement.
No.
It really was. That was like a cultural thing for us.
You check out our mixtape bracket too. We did one last year. Skyler mixtape. Cushion OJ was the #1 seed.
But for this album, they kept it really like home team. They most of it's produced by Dame Grease and Cardo, and then at the end, Ethel Sledgerin also helped out, who's Wiz and signed to Wiz.
Monster Beats is on there too, which is he worked a lot with Currency.
And the last track, which we were talking, we had a little discussion before we recorded, is produced by Harry Fraud, and this album is really good, but like I would have loved it exclusively produced by Harry Fraud. Like that would be epitome of what I want from Wiz and Currency right now.
Yeah, I mean, Currency's got a few projects solely produced by Harry. So, I mean, if this was all handled by Harry, that'd be fantastic too. But for me, more than anything, this was just a nostalgia thing. This was like a time capsule thing. Like, even to the album artwork of 2009 is a shot of the room that they shot the promos in on their original How Life tour. So it's like, I don't think it's not the exact one. I think they touched it up a little bit and made it a little more
cool.
But if you look at videos of them doing promo tours for How Fly, that is the exact same room. That's the exact same stuff they had in the room. So I mean, this is so for the fans. And Currency, we said, is probably the rapper of the people. He's the people's champion. Yeah. And it's so good to see because while Currency has stayed in his lane, he's been chilling in the underground. Wiz has gone into new heights. He's a big name.
He's playing stadiums.
Exactly. He's doing stadium tours. I just like that he's remembered where he came from. You know, he's like he never forgot who put him on. Like the year from 2000 to 2011, 2009 to 2011. That is the reason Wiz is big because he established that grassroots fan base of people that would have backed him through anything, and that turned him into a huge star. He's a big star.
Spittle was saying that he's been trying to release this for multiple years. Like he's been trying to get Wiz to drop this for so long, and Wiz has just been like, "Nah, I got an idea. Like 10 years, like 2019, it will be the mark." And it's a good mark. And what's great, that tour that we just spoke about, it's insane to imagine Wiz doing the venues that he's doing. He's doing like many theaters and like. He's playing Toad's Place. That's a venue in Connecticut. It probably holds about like 1,500, maybe. I want to say.
I'm not sure, but it's definitely it's a club.
It's a
club.
smaller area that like you wouldn't expect, and last year Wiz Khalifa sold out Xfinity Theater, which max holds like 20,000. I'm not sure if 20,000 were there that day because they had the section closed off. But you know what I'm saying? Like, he at least had a strong 15,000 there, and he's doing a venue that at max holds 2,000 people. So, like, for Wiz to be doing that, it's crazy that we could get to see him. Like, I never thought that we'd ever see Wiz at a small venue like that again.
I think it's just volumes about the person who Wiz is, and that he truly cares about the music. Well, I think when we did our Wiz episode, we talked about Rolling Papers too. I said that I felt like ever since really Rolling Papers, my anticipation for his music has kind of gone down, and my appetite for his music has gone down. All that aside, whether you think his music has gone down or it's continued to stay the same since he broke into the mainstream, he still cares.
Yeah.
He still cares about the fan. This says more than anything. And to an artist that big to still do that is, you don't see that. You really don't see that. So I think that's what makes this project really more special.
And I'm excited for all the videos, all the promo, and just that's going to be the most enjoyable part of it. Just the nostalgia that we're gonna get just from the videos. Like, I'm sure they shot a music video to all of these, and if not, they will because they're on tour right now. But I mean, if you guys haven't checked out the 2009, I think like you guys should give it a listen.
So that came out Friday, right? Friday. So that came out Friday, but we're what, 2 months into the year almost? Right now? So what do you guys have a playlist already of stuff you're bumping right now?
I can tell you, I'm really feeling this YNW Melly, or just Melly, I've seen people call him. I'm really feeling the album We All Shine. I know this guy had a lot of legal problems. He was caught up in jail. I think he's out right now. He's actually on tour. But I mean, the song, which I think they're pushing as a single, Mixed Personalities with Kanye, fantastic. Music video's fantastic too, shot by the whole Lyrical Lemonade crew, which was hella dope. But I'm really feeling this. The guy, to me, YNW Melly, sounds like a more like understandable thug, but he's a little more emotive because he's from the South. I mean, he's from Florida, so I can see the influences there for Thug, just being from Atlanta, not too far away.
Speaking of Thugger, man, Earth Gang dropped a hell of a single the other day, and I don't know if they did it during the Dreamville sessions or whenever they did it. Probably when they were on the KOD tour, because Thugger was opening up with Earth Gang. But this song "Proud of You" is a phenomenal. Like, it's just good vibes all around, and that's just the type of music that like I'm trying to hear this year. Like, just positivity. And
that's one of the early albums that we're expecting this first quarter from Earth Gang, and they've already released 2 singles from it now. Earth Gang closely associated with with Black and JID. They used to be in Village Village together. So that's something obviously anticipating as well.
Do you think they're gonna drop first quarter?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it was going to be April.
So do we assume that the whole Revenge of the Dreamer project is going to come in first quarter too? Or
I thought that was going to be this month.
Next week, J. Cole is playing the All-Star game.
Yeah.
He's headlining the show. So I kind of think that we might get it this coming Friday. Like,
or an announcement.
At least an announcement or another single with like the crew, because that is going to be like a huge like. It's a huge look, a lot of eyeballs.
To be honest, I thought that was coming out in February. I was getting ready to expect that now, so I thought it was already going to drop. To be honest,
if it doesn't come out this week, I think April's that locked in date, because Dreamville, the fest. I don't know if you guys remember last year, they tried to do it in September, and there was like an awful like hurricane or something that went through North Carolina, and it kind of tore it down, but it got rescheduled for April, so I'm thinking April
or lead up to April.
Too, that might be when, and then because they're every Dreamville artist will be there, and a lot of those guys that were at the sessions will be there, so they have some time to perform it.
Yeah. I feel like they're gonna want to stagger it though. You don't want to have one quarter of just Dreamville.
No, true. So Earth might be holding.
I mean, they might do a month, the good music route.
Yeah, and plus just the fact that Earth Gang's already had a few singles that are out, and there was I can't remember who was tweeting about them. It might have been a Wale tweet that I saw that was like, it was related to Earth Gang, and I was like, people are giving them looks now. There are other artists that are giving them looks, and a Young Thug feature is something that'll grab a different group of fans as well, you know?
Them, JID, and Black, I think, are changing the narrative of Atlanta artists for a good way. And shout out Baby. Baby. Lil Baby, he that boy can spit. So like, though I feel like there's a little bit of like a more of a rapping crew coming out of Atlanta, and I'm fucking with that. But we got our first taste of what happened at the Dreamville sessions. Buddy just dropped his deluxe edition of Harlan and Alendra. That was his album that came out earlier this year. But he has a song called Link Up, and it's featuring Boss, Guap Kid, and JID, and that was one of the songs they recorded in the session, and it sounds pretty good, so that got me excited for whatever's going to drop in the next month or so.
I feel like that Dreamville session was just like the Royal Rumble of just hip-hop. There's so many things in there happening, and so many storylines could occur off of that.
Future also dropped in January, and that was another long-ass project, 20-something tracks, but honestly, there's at least, I was doing a count up earlier today, and there's at least probably between 8 to 10 tracks that I really freaking love, and are classic, in my opinion, Future tracks that will be in my rotation, but it's over flooded. There's too many songs.
This is what I was thinking with that Future project, and I was mentioning this before, is that Future is responsible for a lot of the sound we hear in music today.
Yeah.
He birthed so many of these rappers today. He knows it too, and everyone knows it too. People pay homage to Future, like Juice WRLD is saying, I want to be here for the Future. Oh, a bunch of artists too.
A Boogie said in a song that Future was his idol.
Exactly. So the thing is, though, imitation is the highest form of flattery, right? I think we can all agree with that. But I feel like, while in other circumstances where artists had so many people copy their style, like someone like Drake, and that's not her Drake's persona.
Or Thug even.
Thug too. I feel like so many people just trying to sound like Future has kind of hurt Future, and that it's kind of made his sound a little watered.
I'm right here with that sound. That album, I've heard good reviews, but I tried listening to it, and I'm just tired of that sound. Like, I can't, like, I don't want to hear that anymore. Like, every artist sounds like that, and just relate this to Migos and that whole, like, those albums they dropped. I think that affected them too. There's something as dropping too much content, like, and I think that's oversaturating the market, and I think that Migos and Future, though, that sound has been copied by everyone. That, like, I'm just tired of that sound. I just want to hear new shit. Like, that's why when you hear guys like JID come out and Anderson .Paak, and then you have like a Earth Gang, where it's just like, that's a different style of music coming out.
But then you have the Gunnas and the Lil Baby, who you just mentioned. Those are like terrible artists for unique stuff. They're doing nothing new to the table. You know what I mean?
I mess with both of those artists.
Yeah, like
they are derivatives. I mean, those are Thug's children. Like, Young Thug created them in the lab.
And Future with Lil Baby. I hear some Future and Lil Baby. But they're just totally derivatives.
I don't mind Thug and Baby. I feel like they know what they're doing. Like, if we can just call their music drip music, because honestly, I feel like Gunna is probably on at least 5 songs with the word drip in the title.
Yeah, he definitely is.
But I don't have a problem with that. I really don't.
Lil Baby's a better rapper than people. You gotta actually listen to his album. He's a better rapper than people want to get.
I've heard enough of him that I don't.
I like Gunna better than Lil Baby, to be honest.
I'd rather listen to
Gunna.
Gunna harmonizes more, but
Gunna's more of the Thug to me, because the harmonizing and more of a hook.
Baby's like the rapper of the.
He brings nothing to the table to me, and Gunna a little bit. I mean, he has a few catchy tracks. What was the recent feature that he was on the 21 album? I like his feature on that.
Can't leave without it. Lil Baby on that. Lil
Baby is terrible on it. That's my thing. It's like I wish that, like, I don't know. He ruins shit for me, but there's so much stuff going on right now. So many people sound alike.
Yeah, and it's stuff. And the thing with like Future is like, and to Future's detriment, it's like he doesn't have to change his sound. Like Future,
he does. Yeah.
What does Future have to do? What does he have to prove?
He has so many other lanes of shit too.
So it's like he doesn't. He shouldn't feel like, oh, these guys sounded like me. I should change up. It's like, no, you don't. You birthed these people. But in the same. It's the yin and the yang of it. I feel like it's hurt Future more than other artists.
Another a refreshing voice that I am not familiar with, the Boogie album that dropped earlier at the end of January, I think. Everything's for Sale. I really have not been familiar with him. That's been one of my favorite albums of the year, easily to start. And that,
really good,
in my opinion, is a refreshing sound. That he almost has like a Kodak-ish voice, a Chance the Rapper-ish voice, and if he sings, but he's rapping about completely unique things that I really haven't heard too much right now.
That single Silent Ride is so good to me. Like,
it's so good.
I replay that over and over again. That is my single on there.
It's a relationship track. It's such an honest track. It's so real.
So real.
And his lyrics are lyrics that I really haven't heard in hip hop, dealing with that subject matter. You know, I'm really not used to people dealing with subject matter.
There's a lane like for that type of music that
totally is
that he's doing. That's a really good one.
It's funny he's signed to M and Dre because he reminds me of somebody that TDE would want if they nabbed him, because he's from Compton as well.
Shady Records nabbed him, but the bidding war was between TDE and Shady Records, which is just like it's like a yin and yang.
Imagine taking that.
Yeah, it was just like the thing up with Shady is that no one's really on Shady right now, so he has like that's a benefit and that's also a negative because they're not really putting any music out besides M, but also they have his full attention. The only thing that I'm scared of is Paul Rosenberg just took over for Def Jam. How much attention does he have for a guy like Boogie when he's in charge of 2 Chainz, YG, Big Sean, Kanye, like so many artists? Like that's the only thing I want to see for Boogie, just like a little more. Like he has a tour coming, so maybe the promo might be there.
Yeah, Boogie and Joyner are really the only people that I see associate with Shady Records right now that I can think of that are actually out in their name, you know.
But back to the music that we're bumping right now, just because there's some fire out there that I feel like we haven't really been talking about. That Tatiana is I'm bumping that really hard. That's like a fun song that I'm really. But like going back to that Creed 2 soundtrack, which I feel got that Ari Lennox and J. Cole song Shea Butter Baby, that song is so good, and J. Cole's in his lane on those type of beats, those smooth like soulful beats. I love when J. Cole does that. And
fire too.
Her album's coming out real soon. Another song that came around at the same time was that Anywhere, Anderson .Paak and Snoop Dogg. That song just gives me some chills. That's like what I've been bumping heavy.
That's a good combo. I didn't listen to that track, but that's a good combo.
That's some good shit right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blueface right now is blowing up, man. And when I first heard Blueface, I was like, this is a Walmart YG. Like, I don't want to hear this, but it's growing up. The more I hear Tatiana grow.
The lyrics are trash, but he's just a fun artist.
Exactly. And he's not... he's kind of coming out like when Waka came out. He's acting like, yo, I'm not really a rapper. Like, he said, like, yo, he tweeted, like, yo, rappers do this shit every day. I just do this shit on the weekends. He's just having fun.
We clearly know from his last arrest that he's not really focused on rap.
Exactly.
Speaking of Waka, I feel like Waka doesn't get as much respect. There's a Soulja Boy meme going around right now. Waka birthed a lot of the stuff we hear, too. Yeah. The loudness and just the Lex Luger beats that really they were so closely knit. Waka deserves some of the credit. That's a little bit of a tangent. But
Waka deserves a lot of credit for becoming a better rapper. Because he was so bad when he came out. Those songs were bangers, but he had no bars. He's good now. Yeah. I think he's legitimately...
Compared to 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz has gotten better, too, over the years. I was never a Titty Boy guy, but 2 Chainz is awesome.
I'm waiting for that album. He released a couple snippets. The song with Wayne on the new album. Budden's already heard the album, and he said that it's one of 2 Chainz like more lyrical albums.
I like Pretty Girls Love Travis. Like, I thought that was solid.
So good.
His best album, I think.
I think that is the best album.
And he said the last song with Monica is more like what we're gonna be hearing on this next album.
Interesting.
But yeah, music is like a lot. It's more like fun stuff that I'm bumping right now. There's nothing really like heavy that I'm like listening to. Like I feel like most of this right now is mostly like party music. That's why I think the Boogie was so important.
Exactly. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because there really haven't been too many standout, huge commercial like wow, the new highly anticipated Drake album, Travis album, blah blah blah, Mac album. Those all came last year. The first 2 months so far in February have been reasonably quiet. Future dropped the album. But Future drops 2 projects a year sometimes.
Yeah,
so
well, he already hinted Hendrix 2 is coming out this year.
Yeah, so that's not, it wasn't necessarily a landmark moment. I'm sure people are waiting on a lot of Top Dog stuff to come out this year potentially.
Well, Isaiah, speaking of that, Isaiah just announced first single coming this week. So I'm really hyped about that.
2019's got a lot to live up to because 2018 was one of the best music years that we've experienced as we've been alive as people. I would 100% say.
For sure.
And while, you're experiencing this fire music out there, you know what's also fire is all the fire episodes we have of the Rap Days podcast. We are stacked, man. This is our 8th audio drip. Man, we're covering albums, all the stuff. Last episode was on Cole's Born Sinner. Dreamville is going to dominate 2019. Want to check up on that. Again, if you still need to look up on last year, man, we covered all our favorite albums and songs of 2018.
That 21 Savage episode is awesome. And
Free 21.
As relevant as ever.
Exactly.
For sure. We did Post Malone. He's nominated today. A lot of these guys are nominated. We did a Nipsey. We did Victory Lap last year. We covered that. We did a Mac album. We did that. That was like the 5th episode. It was Mac Miller, Faces. Cardi. That might be. We might have to do an episode on Cardi. We have to show a little more love to like the ladies in hip hop, but. That album was really good, and you should go back and listen to all the episodes that we got because we got some fire.
iTunes, SoundCloud, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff, man. /RapTakes. Check us out, follow us, like us, download, subscribe, man. Just continue to support. Everyone's been rocking with us since day one. love you, and just keep.
Make sure to give us that subscribe link on iTunes, because that really helps us for sure.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, podcast. Peace.